Pooja ma'am, we are live.
Welcome to Sunya Talks. Here on Saturday, we discuss Pāli Tipiṭaka as it is. Our trials is to translate the Pāli Tipiṭaka, including the Pali terms, so that we are trying for the revival of the Pali language. With me today is Amukta, and Amukta is gonna read today. Welcome, Amukta. Good morning.
So, good morning.
Yeah, and today's expert is Dr. Rajesh Savera, the famous Ayurveda and the psychotherapist. Welcome, doctor.
Yeah, namaste and good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
And before we start our session and our study for Sanyuta Nikaya, let's have our Sunya practice treatment from 9 to 0.
Yeah.
Today we are continuing our study with the Panchaskandha, the aggregates, because five aggregates plays very important role in our life. So this translations is done by the translation department from Sanyuta International Foundation under the guidance of the Anacharya Nagajiva. Today is 30th of August 2025 and we are continuing our study on the aggregates, and here the section is the first 50. I now invite Amukta to read the today's sutra.
Yes, so today we'll be reading SN 22.52, The End of Relishing, second. At Savati, bhikkhus, attend carefully to Rupa and see its impermanence as it truly is. When a bhikkhu attends carefully to Rupa and sees its impermanence as it truly is, he becomes disenchanted with Rupa. With the destruction of delight, raga is destroyed. With the destruction of raga, delight is destroyed. With the destruction of delight and raga, the mind is liberated and well liberated. This is called liberation. Bhikkhus, attend carefully to Vedana and see its impermanence as it truly is. When a bhikkhu attends carefully to Vedana and sees its impermanence as it truly is, he becomes disenchanted with Vedana. With the destruction of delight, raga is destroyed. With the destruction of raga, delight is destroyed. With the destruction of delight and raga, the mind is liberated and well liberated. This is called liberation. Bhikshu, perception. Bhikshu, attend carefully to sankhara and see their impermanence as it truly is. When a bhikkhu attends carefully to sankhara and sees their impermanence as it truly is, he becomes disenchanted with sankhara. With the destruction of delight, raga is destroyed. With the destruction of raga, delight is destroyed. With the destruction of delight and raga, the mind is liberated and well liberated. This is called liberation. Bhikkhus, attend carefully to Vijnana and see its impermanence as it truly is. When a bhikkhu attends carefully to consciousness and sees its impermanence as it truly is, he becomes disenchanted with consciousness. With the destruction of delight, raga is destroyed. With the destruction of raga, delight is destroyed. With the destruction of delight and raga, the mind is liberated and well liberated. This is called liberation. This was the 10th, 5th chapter.
So
Self is
Uh,
silent.
Here is the liberation, what in true sense is we get to know. Because raga in general, the delight, we, uh, we coin these terms with the, positive aspects of life in general. But that is also, like we have discussed in the session today, if we are behind that sukh, that delight, then definitely the suffering is going to knock our doors. So when we don't have that raga, that attachment towards the likable things, or pushing away of dislikable things also, and I guess we truly be in understanding mode of the impermanence, and to see as it is and to live in that present moment. That's what I have understood from this Sutta doctor. Uh, we would like to know more about this sutta from you, Doctor.
Yeah, so if you see here, they are talking again about Panchaskanda. And while we do understand Rupa, Vedana, Saudhya, Sanskara, the most important thing is consciousness. And since the slide is here, paused at consciousness, let me talk about it, okay? So that you can understand. So now when you talk about consciousness, you need to know that this consciousness is impermanent. Now, that's what people don't believe. People believe that consciousness is always there. But consciousness is something that you are aware of. Like right now, who am I? My name. Because when you ask somebody, whether he's aware, he's conscious, his name and everything, only then we'll say he's conscious. Otherwise, we'll say he's unconscious or he's half conscious, right? So consciousness actually is in part to your memory, to your experience, to your identity. And when you know that this is me at this stage, but tomorrow I can be me at another stage, right? And my consciousness keeps on ever changing. That is means it is never permanent. So me also, a small kid, a young boy, a man, old man, these all consciousnesses are going to change. My awareness daily is going to change. As an employee, as a as a boss, whatever it is, I keep on changing my roles, so my consciousness keeps on changing, so it is impermanent. And hence I cannot be enchanted with it. I cannot be enchanted means I should not hold on to it. What is enchantment means? Being like always craving for it, chanting for it, wanting it, right? And this enchantment is no more asking for it, no more craving for it,
Mm.
being as it is. And then when you are in that disenchantment mode of that thing that you know is not permanent, you have cut down on the delight, that happiness that you get, the enjoyment that you get on chanting for it. And when you have cut down on that, then you cut down on the lust. Lust is enjoying on a thing that is yet not happened. Okay, so you even cut down on that one. See, delight means you want it to happen. Second is when it happens, what will it give you? So you start having that lust. So lust is also gone. So the delight is gone, lust is gone. Because delight and lust is gone, your mind is free. Your mind is absolutely liberated. And because of that, even consciousness, even that I is there, but it is ever changing. So it doesn't become something that becomes an obstacle for you. So tomorrow, if somebody makes you the prime minister, you very well accept your role as a prime minister. And then next moment he makes you chaprasi, or just an office boy, you still accept that also, because you know that that role of mine is ever changing and you don't mind it. And people will say, wow, this guy is so liberated in mind. He doesn't have any ego, doesn't have any kind of attachment. He is so free. And that's what I understand is liberation.
Wow. So the doctor, this enchantment, it's like chanting because we are, we make our blueprint, or our life should be like this, or our life should be like this. Everybody has that blueprint. I will do this at this age of state of age, and other times different. So getting out of that chanting, it's disenchantment, and if we truly do that, we will live in present moment. I
Yeah.
guess. Doctor, very quick question: when it comes to impermanence, and we are looking for some of the stability in our life, how do we pave a way on this? Because
Okay.
impermanence is there.
But
Yes, things are ever changing. But as a career, developing career, or in any aspect of work life, and life, we seek for that security and the stability. How do we pursue this then?
Impermanence is the only permanent thing, right? So you live with that permanent thing, then you know that impermanence. Who wants his career to be fixed at one point forever? They want that to change. They want it to make it better, right? So conditionally, when you make something better, you're living in impermanence. But because it is impermanent, it is ever changing, you have the right to change it. You are then, not, you're more optimistic on changing it for the betterment of the way you want it. But if you go on to holding on to that and saying that this is what I permanently want, will not happen, because if you want permanently something, you need to do something permanently. And that permanent doing is not possible because the body is going to age, things are going to change around you. You cannot have something permanent when everything around you is impermanent. When the raw material
Hmm.
itself that is going to make the product is impermanent, how can the product be permanent? Then we do things as it is, we make things better, we keep on ever changing. When you keep on ever changing, you know that what change you want is what you want. So when you should be like water, when it flows, it doesn't stop, it just keeps on finding ways and means through which it goes, right? So you need to know that the best way in a world which is ever changing is to be that ever changing person. And
Hmm.
what you want to change to, you should know.
Wow. So it's not what you are creating, but what's happening to you, and get into that, sync and that connection. Yes. We move to next section. Amrita.
Yes. So the next sutta is SN 22.76, the Arahanta. At Savatthi, because Rupa is impermanent. What is impermanent is Dukkha. What is Dukkha is non self. What is non self should be seen as it really is with correct wisdom. Thus, this is not mine. This I am not. This is not myself. Vedana, perception, sankhara, consciousness is impermanent. What is impermanent is dukkha. What is dukkha is non self. What is non self should be seen as it really is with correct wisdom. Thus, this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Seeing thus, because the instructed Arya Savaka becomes disenchanted with Rupa, disenchanted with Vedana, perception, Sankhara, consciousness, being disenchanted, they become dispassionate. Through dispassion, they are liberated. When liberated, there is the knowledge. Liberated. They understand destroyed is birth. The brahmacharya has been lived. What had to be done has been done. There is no more coming to any state of being, because as far as there are abodes of beings, as far as the peak of existence, there are the foremost, and these are the best in the loka, namely the arhants. The Bhagava said this. Having said this, the Sugata, the Sata, further said, how happy are the Arahants, in whom tanha, craving, is not found. The conceit, I am, is cut off. The net of delusion is burst asunder. They have reached the unshaken, the minds free from defilement, unstained by the loka. They are Brahma like, free from taints. Having fully understood the five aggregates that dwell in the good Dhamma. Praised by the good, they are the Buddha's true sons. Endowed with seven treasures, trained in the three trainings, the great heroes wander, having abandoned fear and dread. Endowed with 10 factors, those giants have immersion. These are the best in the world. Craving is not found in them. The knowledge of the adept has arisen. This is their last body. The essence of the brahmacharya, they are independent of others. They do not waver in the face of conditions, fully liberated from further becoming. Having reached the tamed state, they are conquerors in the world. Above, across, and below, delight is not found in them. They roared the lion's roar, the unsurpassed Buddhas and the world. This was the fourth sutta.
So here the formula is getting repeated each and every time we are coming across the Panchaskandha, the five aggregates, because it is each factor is impermanent, and what is impermanent is will definitely lead to the suffering, the dukkha, the pain, and the discomfort. And if we understand this, these two simple things, then it is the wisdom we develop, and that is the true gateway towards the liberation. That's what I guess, Doctor. Because we develop that ditti, that drishti, that perception. This is not mine. This is not me, and this is not myself. And that fear and dread is overcome by an individual, and that craving is not found, and then we call that arant, and then one can proclaim that Sinanath, the lion's roar, that birth is destroyed and there is no coming and going forward now. So yes, Doctor, we would like to know more in detail from you.
Yeah, as you see, again, it's a repetition, but here the repetition, there's an addition here where it is being said that things are impermanent. Okay, we know. This impermanence is where you should, if you delight in that, you're enchanted in that impermanent, then you will basically have lust. If you will have lust and desire, you would want to have the craving, and then you will fall in that suffering. So, here, it's not saying that impermanence is suffering, it's saying that the attachment, the enchantment to impermanence is suffering. If you do not get attached to the impermanence, you experience it as it is. You instead, you can actually, see it as it, you'll have a liberated mind. And when you have a liberated mind, there is no way you're going to have suffering, because everything that is impermanent should be seen as impermanent. That is what we call Brahm. It's called Brahm means illusion. And brahmacharya means living the illusion. When we realize we have lived the illusion and now the illusion is over, what had to be done in that illusion I've done, and there is no more illusion left, that is when everything has been tamed. I'm free from everything and I have become an arhant. So, this illusory self of yours is something that you need to live. You have to experience it, but do not get attached to it. And that's what here it is being said. And then this is not me, this illusion is not me, this is not myself, this is not mine, nothing. When you get out of all this, then you are out of the illusion. Because you're out of the illusion, but living the illusion till the time the illusion does not finish its job. Okay, till that time, you will know that it is all about doing your duty as an illusionist, as a person that you have been now illusioned to be. Okay, so you have to live the brahmacharya, you have to live that illusion.
Yeah. So living the illusion is great thing we have discovered out of this sutra, Doctor. We will continue our study with the next sutra.
Yeah.
SN 22.78 The Lion. At Savatthi, because in the evening the lion, the king of beasts, emerges from his lair. After emerging, he stretches himself, surveys the four directions all around, and roars his lion's roar 3 times. Then he sets out in search of game. Now, whatever animals hear the roar of the lion, the king of beasts, most of them are filled with fear, terror, and panic. They enter their holes, enter their dens, enter the forest, or flee into the air. Even those royal nagas, bound by strong harness in the villages, towns, and capital cities, break their bonds, shatter them, and flee here and there in terror, urinating and defecating. So powerful, Bhikshus, is the lion, the king of beasts among animals, so majestic and Mahanubhava. In the same way, bhikkhus, when a Tathagat arises in the world, an Arhant, Samasambuddha, accomplished in true knowledge and conduct, Sugata, nor of the world, unsurpassed, leader of persons to be tamed, teacher of devas and humans, the Buddha, the Bhagava, He teaches the Dhamma thus. Such is Rupa. Such is the origin of Rupa. Such is the Nirodha of Rupa. Such is Vedana. Such is perception. Such are Sankhara. Such is consciousness. Such is the origin of consciousness. Such is the cessation of consciousness. Even those long lived, beautiful, blissful devas dwelling in lofty palaces, upon hearing the Tathagata's teaching of the Dhamma, are mostly filled with fear, terror, and panic. It seems, Bo, that we are impermanent, though we thought ourselves permanent, transient, though we thought ourselves eternal, non eternal, though we thought ourselves eternal. It seems, sir, that we are impermanent, transient, non eternal, included within identity. So powerful, because is the Tathagata in the Loka, with Devas so majestic and Mahanubhava. The Bhagavad said this. Having said this, the teacher further said, when the Buddha, having understood, set in motion the wheel of Dhamma or the Loka with its devas, the Satta, the unsurpassed one, he taught identity and its cessation, the origin of identity and the noble eightfold path, leading to the calming of dukkha. Even those long lived devas, beautiful and glorious, were filled with fear and terror, like animals at the lion's roar. We have not transcended identity. It seems, Bo, we are impermanent. Hearing the words of the Arahant, the one fully liberated, the steadfast.
Yes. Kevin, can we go to slide 23? Because this slide is very important at this, doctor, because there the definition of, the fear, panic, and everybody fears that. And now we are talking about the lion's roar. So here, lion's roar is not like shouting you with very loud noises. Here, when we are talking about Tathagata, he is preaching the Dhamma, and the Dhamma is such a profound that even the almighty, the Devas, the Mahanagas, the Mahanubhavas, they are also carefully listening, and that fear and terror and panic has been, created in them. So, because it's truth, uh, and that is eternal truth, and we and that impermanence, to understand that impermanence, like we get shivers when we understand something, when that, both happens to us. So I guess, when one is very sure about what he is or what she is doing, then they then that confidence comes and fear disappears, and then they can make their own statement with utter confidence, I guess. So that's my little understanding of this sutra, doctor. You would like to more from you.
Yeah, so here, if you look at this sutra, gives a very good analogy of the lion's roar, right? When what does a lion do? He just looks around. He knows his might. He just doesn't go on to attack somebody without giving them a warning. He announces his arrival. He roars three times so that all those who want to run away, please run away. I'm giving you a warning. So it's like the Buddha's teaching. When Buddha teaches, when there is the dhamma that it goes, the wheel that has been turned, when it moves, all the ignorance, if it has to go away, please go away. Because when he starts having a debate with you, so when Buddha is speaking, it's like a lion's roar. So all the ignorance goes away. Everything, every animal just fears into, some goes into the hole, some go run away. So Mara runs away from all sides. All the confusion is gone. But even after that, if somebody is adamant to face the lion, then he will have to see the might of the lion. He'll have to fight with the lion. Hence, in a debate with the Buddha, you will always be on the losing side, because Here, Buddha is like a lion, the king of the jungle, right? So he will make sure that your confusion is gone and you will be completely out of darkness into light. And here we have to understand that a teacher is that person. So hence, when you teacher is teaching and you understand and you accept, that is good. But if you go the other way around to debate with the teacher and fight with the teacher, be ready, right, to know that the teacher is going to give the lion's roar if that, and then you might have that challenge, but it's good to also have that lion's roar heard from the teacher, the because through that we also become like the teacher someday, to help spread the dharma like that. So here it is like the same thing, because impermanence is always going to be accompanied by fear, anxiety, worries, uncertainty, stress, strain. Permanence, which basically is our nature, and that thing, which when we realize we are free of all those impermanent factors. So if you look at the anxiety, is it permanent? No, it comes and goes. So why worry about something that comes and goes? Stress comes and goes. People worry about something that comes and goes. Okay, so don't worry about it. Something that is coming will go away. Let it go. But I never have come. I never will go. I am the one who is the experiencer. And if I understand that this thing that I am, that is the never changing me in the ever changing world, around me. If I realize that part of me, I think then I realize my basic Buddha nature that I am. And that's where the whole differentiation goes away. The impermanence, fears, anxiety, and worry also go away. There's no past, there's no future. The only thing that remains is the now, the present. And that's where you can live. And the devas know this, the gods know this. The gods also realize that all that is just one day going to go away, right? Even they are a manifestation. So they also fear when the Buddha speaks. So they also come to listen. The Nagas know it. Everybody who has manifested, they know that their manifested self one day will go away. And hence, all of them, any part of the universe or existential part, Tri Sahasra, Mahasastra, Lokdhatu, anybody anywhere who has taken form and name will come down to listen to the Buddha, to see and experience his basic true nature. That is no different between you and me and everyone there. So the gods, me, the people in the hell, all of them have the basic Buddha nature, and that remains constant across.
Wow. And to if only we get tuned to our Buddha nature, if only we acknowledge that Buddha nature in us and only realize that Buddha nature comes through our case the experiences without any definition and without any identity creation for self. So that was profound. Also, one of the main important thing here, and as you have equated that Tathagat, that place in our daily lives is by a teacher. So to set that will in motion, so that the teacher is setting that the student's life to get into that path, that setting uh, the path, so that the student can walk on it, whether teacher is around or not. That was also
So actually, a teacher equips the student with the need and the ingredients that he can use to make his own path. So if you look at it, Buddha was telling everybody, go on left, right, up, down, south, east, north, west, everywhere, go and go and go. So he was not trying to tell them, come behind me, come behind me. He was telling them to go the other way around. He was saying, you go out, you do it, you go and teach. You have understood it, now let others understand. So when you understand that a great teacher is the one who liberates you from himself also. He doesn't keep you locked up to him. He makes sure that you get out from him also. He'll kick you out. He'll kick you out and send you in the world to see how you do. Right? That's how he will be a great teacher. So, like you see, even Jesus Christ sends his disciples everywhere. Every great master has sent disciples, and they have not been following them and their footsteps or serving them. They have taken the path, the dharma wheel, and the wheel is symbolic of moving on, continuing, doing, don't stop, because the existence doesn't stop, so should you not. And then that is why you should keep on delivering.
right, right, right. Okay, Doctor, to next sutta for today.
Yeah.
SN 22.79 Ichi. At Savati, because whatever samana or brahmanas recollect their various past lives, they all recollect the five aggregates of clinging, or one of them. Which five? I had such rupa in the past. Thus, because recollecting one recollects only rupa. I had such Vedana in the past. Thus, because recollecting one recollects only Vedana, feeling. I had such perception in the past. I had such Sankhara in the past. I had such consciousness in the past. Thus, because recollecting one recollects only consciousness. And what because is called Rupa? It is called Rupa because it is afflicted. By what is it afflicted? It is afflicted by cold, heat, hunger, thirst, and by contact with flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, and creeping things because it is afflicted because it is called Rupa. And what because is called Vedana? It is called Vedana because it feels. What does it feel? It feels pleasure, suffering, and neither pain nor pleasure. Because it feels, because it is called Vedana. And what because is called perception? It is called perception because it perceives. What does it perceive? It perceives blue, yellow, red, and white. Because it perceives, because it is called perception. And what because is called sankhara. They are they're called mental actions because they form the conditioned. What do they form? They form rupa as rupa, vedana as vedana, perception as perception, sankhara as sankhara, and consciousness as consciousness. Because they form the conditioned because they're called mental action. And what because is called consciousness. It is called consciousness because it cognizes. What does it cognize? It cognizes sour, bitter, pungent, sweet, alkaline, non alkaline, salty, and non salty. Because it cognizes, because this it is called consciousness. Therein, because a learned Arya Savaka reflects thus I am now consuming Rupa. In the past, I also consumed Rupa in the same way as I do now with present Rupa. If I were to delight in future Rupa, I would consume further future Rupa in the same way as I do now with present Rupa. Reflecting thus, he becomes disinterested in past Rupa, does not delight in future Rupa, and practices for disenchantment, dispassion, and cessation regarding present form. I am now consuming Vedana. In the past, I also consumed Vedana in the same way as I do now with present Vedana. If I were to delight in future Vedana, I would consume future Vedana in the same way as I do now with present Vedana. Reflecting thus, he becomes disinterested in past Vedana, does not delight in future Vedana, and practices for disenchantment, dispassion, and cessation regarding present Vedana. Am now consuming perception. Am now consuming mental action. In the past, I also consumed sankhara in the same way as I do now with present sankhara. If I were to delight in future sankhara, I would consume future sankhara in the same way as I do now with present sankhara. Reflecting thus, he becomes disinterested in past sankhara, does not delight in future sankhara, and practices for disenchantment, dispassion, and cessation regarding present sankhara. I am now consuming consciousness. In the past, I also consumed consciousness in the same way as I do now with present consciousness. If I were to delight in future consciousness, I would consume future consciousness in the same way as I do now with present consciousness. Reflecting thus, he becomes disinterested in past consciousness, does not delight in future consciousness, and practices for disenchantment, dispassion, and cessation regarding present consciousness. What do you think because is Rupa? Permanent or impermanent? Impermanent bhante. And what is impermanent? Is it dukkha or sukha? Dukkha bhante. And what is impermanent? Dukkha and subject to change Is it proper to regard it as this is mine, this I am, this is myself? No bhante. Is Vedana, perception, sankhara, consciousness permanent or impermanent? Impermanent bhante. And what is impermanent? Is it dukkha or sukha? Dukkha bhante. And what is impermanent? Dukkha and subject to change. Is it proper to regard it as this is mine, this I am, this is myself? No bhante. Therefore, bhikkhus, whatever rupa, past, future, or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all rupa should be seen as it really is with the right wisdom. This is not mine, this I am not. This is not myself. Whatever Vedana, perception, mental action, consciousness, past, future, or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all consciousness should be seen as it really is with right wisdom. This is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. This bhikkhus is called an Arya Savaka who does not accumulate but lets go, who abandons and does not cling, who scatters and does not heap up, who extinguishes and does not kindle. What does he let go and not accumulate? He lets go of Rupa and does not accumulate it. He lets go of Vedana, perception, mental action, consciousness, and does not accumulate them. What does he abandon and not cling to? He abandons Rupa and does not cling to it. He abandons feeling, perception, mental action, consciousness, and does not cling to them. What does he scatter and not heap up? He scatters Rupa and does not heap it up. He scatters feeling, perception, mental action, consciousness, and does not heap them up. What does he extinguish and not kindle? He extinguishes Rupa and does not kindle it. He extinguishes feeling, perception, mental action, consciousness, and does not kindle them. Seeing thus, because the learned Arya Savaka becomes disenchanted with Rupa, disenchanted with feeling, perception, mental action, consciousness. Being disenchanted, he becomes dispassionate. Through dispassion, he is liberated. In liberation, there is the knowledge I am liberated. He understands birth is destroyed, the brahmacharya has been lived. What had to be done has been done. There is no more coming to any state of being. This bhikkhus is called a bhikkhu, who neither accumulates nor lets go. Having let go, he stands firm, who neither abandons nor clings. Having abandoned, he stands firm, who neither scatters nor heaps up. Having scattered, he stands firm, who neither extinguishes nor kindles. Having extinguished, he stands firm. What does he neither accumulate nor let go? Having let go, he stands firm. He neither accumulates nor lets go of Rupa. Having let go, he stands firm. He neither accumulates nor lets go of feeling, perception, mental action, consciousness. Having let go, he stands firm. What does he neither abandon nor cling to? Having abandoned, he stands firm. He neither abandons nor clings to Rupa. Having abandoned, he stands firm. He neither abandons nor clings to feeling, perception, mental action, consciousness. Having abandoned, he stands firm. What does he neither scatter nor heap up? Having scattered, he stands firm. He neither scatters nor heaps up Rupa. Having scattered, he stands firm. He neither scatters nor heaps up feeling, perception, mental action, consciousness. Having scattered, he stands firm. What does he neither extinguish nor kindle? Having extinguished, he stands firm. He neither extinguishes nor kindles Rupa. Having extinguished, he stands firm. He neither extinguishes nor kindles feeling, perception, mental action, consciousness. Having extinguished, he stands firm. Bhikkhus, even the Devas, including Indra, Brahma, and Prajapati, pay homage from afar to a bhikkhu whose mind is thus liberated. Homage to you, O Noble One, homage to you, O Supreme One. We do not know what you depend on by which you meditate. This was the
So it was a long sutta, but detailed one, Doctor. Can we go to slide number 27, where it is talking about Rupa and it has gone in deeper perspective, like Rupa is cold, heat, hunger, thirst, and how it has occurred because contact with flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, and all the creepy things. It has gone to such a great details, Doctor, here, and all the listeners out there. Then we go to next slide, and it is talking about the Vedana. There are three types of Vedana we call it, like Sukha, Dukkha, and the third one is Asukha and Adukha. The next slide is talking about perception. So perception of having how we perceive white as white, black as black, or any color for that matter. And then we come to the mental action and how everything that has formed now, whether it is Rupa, Vedana, and perception also, how mentally the conditions led towards developing that. And then we are talking about the consciousness, it's cognition. Cognition to recognize that it is sour, it is bitter, it is pungent, etc. So now we can go to slide 38 where it is summarizing all the like this Panchaskanda was in past, and if I repeat this and recognize this, it will be present, and I can change my future if I have true understanding of this, whether it is internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior. Also, it is talking about far or near. Uh, but to have that right wisdom to understand all the Panchaskanda, to recognize it is not just the theory we are talking about this, but actually experiencing it and to recognize it. So, and then the right wisdom will develop, I guess. Then we go to next slide, and there it is talking about accumulation. When we do not accumulate it, but we just let go, when we do not when we abandon it and we do not, cling to it. Also, when we scatter it so that that heap doesn't get formed and it gets dissolved. And that is the true extinguishing part, I guess. And there we do not kindle with all the Panchaskanda. Then we go to slide number 42, and it is talking about standing firm because here we are firm now. We are not, having the doubts or fear, but we are now having that firm faith, I guess. Yeah. Then at the end of at slide number 45, all the devas, Brahma, Sahampati has given two beautiful, sambodh, what we call the definition or uh, the nomenclature for Buddha. They are talking and they're pronouncing and decoding Buddha as Purisajanna and Purusottama. So here we get to know that they are not talking and that Tathagata is like any mighty kind of thing or being, but it's like common people when we are talking about Puris. But it is the best among the Puris. So that was profound for me, Doctor. So would like to know more about this, your understanding also, and any specific message you want to give us.
I think this sutra is pretty very clear, that it's describing what rupa is. It's basically all your five senses and the mind when in interacts and experiences it. Then you have, like, you see a rose plant, you touch it, you feel it, you get the thorn, and you experience all that. You say, "Oh, this has some substance in it. So this is what I am now seeing. I don't know what it is, but it is something that I can experience. So that is form. But when I see this form, it makes me feel good. Okay, means I have a feeling. I can actually feel its soft petals. I know the stalk is hard. I know there are thorns. I know there are leaves, and I can feel that also. I can feel that with my touch, my eyes, my ears. So feeling is also there. So once the form is there, there is feeling. Then comes perception, where I perceive it. Its color is yellow, or its color is green, whatever different shades of it, and now I have a perception of it. Then I go into now knowing that all that I know of is going to create a conditional action. So now I am give it's because of my nature of the conditional action, that my mental action, I have already formed that image in my mind, and my image in the mind that has been now conditioned and formed inside my mind is also going to be cognized by the mind, and that is where consciousness comes in. Well, I when I see a plant like that, I will say, oh, this is the rose plant, because I know. So I gave it nama rupa. I had the feelings attached to it. I had developed the concepts and perception around it. I had developed the conditional manifestation of it, the action, and I have also now identify it and have go consciousness around it, right? Because with these panchaskanda, I am now knowing that if I experience it in the past that is gone, and my present experience and my future experience are all three different experiences. They cannot be the same, right? Past is already gone. So my present experience tells me that this experience that you're having, either it is like the past, it's better than the past, or it's worse than the past, but it is a new experience altogether. And I see it as it is, because I know that my future experience can be better than this, can be worse than this, or absolutely same like this, because I know that. So knowing this, I get free from the past experience and the future experience, and I enjoy the present experience as it is, because when I live and experience the present moment, I live in a state of liberation without getting afflicted by the past and the future. And I think that's more important, because in life today we want to always try to become something. We crave for something, we want something, and this thing of me, mine, myself, is where the trap is. And if one gets out of that me, myself, and mine trap, I think that's where liberation is. That's where only one thing remains, is experience. And that means life is going to throw challenges. Experience it as a challenge. There will always be two sides to a challenge. Either you win it or lose it. If you win it, well and good, better yourself for the next challenge that life is going to throw. And if it's worst and you've lost, you should understand it taught you a lesson. Go back and try it again. So we will always keep on doing and doing and doing. And I think that's what Buddha is telling us, that you need to understand that your illusion self, the brahmacharya, that you have, that duty that you have to do, has to be done. You have to be engaging in your responsibilities, and with that you have to exhaust everything, so that the burden that you carry of being what you are today as a human being, your job is to care for sentient beings, because we are the only beings that are connected to most of the animal species. We need to take care of them. We need to take care of our own fellow sentient beings, the humans also. And we can also, they say that we can also, with a good deeds, feed and nourish the devas and the asuras and everybody. So it said that the human life is the most rarest among rarest. And if we understand this life and make the best use of this life and contribute as a human being, the so-called Panchashila qualities that are meant for a good human being, I think then we have actually lived a life that was supposed to be lived.
Yeah. Uh, you gave the example of rose petal. Dr. Thich says that if you understand the blooming of a flower, you are liberated. So I think so that petals have all the factors in it, the rupa, the form. If we understand it at deeper level with the four great elements, that it has water, it has heat, it has air also, and it has earth element also in it. So I guess we can see the things as it is. At least we can try to see. things
But
around us
seeing
as
seeing won't help, Rucha. Seeing won't help. You doing will help, you know. Hence it is at the end, you know, if you know everything and you don't do, that knowing is useless. You know, I sometimes feel if you know nothing but yet you do something, I think that doing will be the greatest knowing. And I feel doing your duty is more important in whatever circumstance. You see, obstacles don't come in knowing. Obstacles come in doing. You see, always the
uh-huh.
challenges are in your doing, not in your thinking. Thinking,
Yeah.
I can go to the moon and come back in 1 minute. That's not a great thing. But actually, to even start to go, even jump, I'll realize I cannot even go one centimeter towards the moon. You understood? So the what mind and reality, you know, are two different things. So many people they live in their illusionary self and they do not realize that that's an illusionary self, and hence
Yeah.
they never achieve the reality experience of reality because they stay away from doing. They only keep on talking and thinking and in discussing. They never experience doing because doing will come with 99 times of failure and one possibly a success. But 99 times a person who has failed knows more than the person who has thought 9 million times about that thing. Right. So I think a person who has done it is more wiser, more experienced, more clever than anybody else who's just been thinking.
That's why most of the suttas, Doctor, in Nikayas, also in Agamas, what has to be done has been done. This saying is repetitively we are coming across. That's the main thing. And
Yeah, so
if we
to be
have time, we can go.
sitting and chanting and sitting and doing that, only that, and I do it for 10 hours and 100 hours, and that's not going to do. You want to do something, go it out. You want to help people, go and help people. You want to help yourself first, go and help yourself first. No, no, don't sit there thinking that somebody else will come. There is nobody else out there. You are the only island, right, for yourself. And then you expecting something to happen will not happen. You'll have to make things happen. Okay, it's you who has to take that initiative, and you
Mm.
will only know when you work. Work means karma. Karma means you taking a thing from here to there is what even a magician doesn't do magic like that. He actually works his magic out. You know, he prepares everything so that you feel it magical, but he works a lot to get that magic show out. For you, it is, oh, wow, magic. Similarly, let the world see the magic that you do. But for that magic to happen and let the world see that magic of transformation of you from this to that, you will do a lot of work behind the scenes. So Buddha doesn't become a Buddha like that. Buddha becomes a Buddha because there's a lot of work that has gone in making a Buddha, in being realizing a Buddha. So 6 years was not a short time, you know, and he gave that 100%. So how much of it that we give? We don't even give 6 minutes of us, and we want to become like him. Sorry, it cannot. You cannot. You need to put in effort, and effort will definitely demand patience, will demand endurance, will demand you to give, will demand your 100% attention, will demand your clarity, will demand you to seek guidance, make you humble. So many qualities, and that's where your doing will actually transform you.
Mm. Great, great message for this session, Doctor. Before we conclude our today's session, would you like to summarize
I
today's
think
session?
that was the summary I just gave.
Yeah, because the end message is doing. When we do, when then we come across many challenges. Then we come across our own self. What is me? What is myself? And to make that myself away from the path and to get and tune into that doing mode. Deliver, deliver, deliver. Work, work, work. I guess perform, perform, perform
And
to doing.
here in this sutra, very beautiful quality of the mind has also been revealed. The mind is like that bird, you know, who wants to give birth to a little new, he wants is pregnant and wants to lay eggs. So what do the birds do? They go out, they take a grass and come back. The mind is also like that. Mind, when it wants to create something, it picks up one thing and nests, creates a nest in which something gets born. Okay, from there
Mm,
the new bird is born. From that bird again goes and does the same thing, and you have a nested existence of yours. You know, so the best way is stop picking up those things. So Buddha says stop accumulating. The nature of the
Yeah.
mind is to accumulate, gather. So it has two qualities. The mind has the nature of gathering, and the mind has the nature of dispersing.
Scattering.
Yeah. So what it gathers all the experience, it actually disperses to gain more experience. So what it does, it keeps on having those knots of rupa, knots of vedana, knots of
Mm.
saudhya, knots of sanskar, knots of consciousness. They are built within you, so you are nested. You're like a tree that's full of nests of all your conditions that your mind has experienced and gathered. And what Buddha is saying, with dispassion you let go of that gathering, you let go of the dispersing mind, because every time the mind has got dispersed, it has gone to gather something and bring back. And when you
Wow.
realize this, so you practice dhyana is getting that bird that has gone out to gather some piece of grass and bringing it back. Please come back. No need to go. Come empty handed. Sit here. No need going anywhere. Sit here, sit here, sit here. And when you bring the mind in that state where it is no more dispersing and is no more gathering, it's just there. I think that's what matters. There is no nesting, there is no egg laying, there is no new bird coming, there is no more life, there is no more death, and there is nothing happening.
And that little birdie takes lots of efforts to build that nest, doctor.
Yeah, so
Also,
we take a lot of effort to mess our life. Our life doesn't get messy so easily. We have, if we, our life has become messy, thanks to the efforts that we have taken to mess it up.
right. But again, when that nest is formed, I guess they abandon it. They do not come back to the to lay the
Yeah,
next eggs
that's
or.
exactly the mind does. Na? So mind does one thing. Once it gives birth, it moves to another. The birds go again searching for a new, and a new nest is, but the nests still remain. Nest remain means the knot remains, the memory remains, everything remains. That is why
Mm.
it's very dangerous to have a nest without any eggs in it, without any life in it, but still haunting you, that this
Mm.
particular tree. Imagine, so many proof of so many birds that have flown out, and so many birds that are building new nests. If that is the way the mind is going to work, it's like a catalyst effect, just building up. Yes,
There's a good example that came to mind when you were talking about how the nest builds. It's like the virus that affects the computer.
yes,
One enters and then it
yes,
multiplies and then it
yes,
spreads across, and that's
absolutely.
how.
So, one bad habit,
Mhm.
I just go, I have a bad habit of staying away with friends late night. Then my next bad habit comes, I start smoking with them.
Mhm.
Then the next time I start drinking with them. Then I'd start, night out drink with them. Then I start. So what triggered was the one, the first one. Okay, one after the other one, I was conditioning myself to become the so-called one that I never wanted to be. So as I tell, even the worst phase of yours, or the worst part of yours, or the horrible self of yours, a lot of effort has gone into making that worst part of yours. So thank yourself for making what you are today. And if you love this stage of yours, then continue doing what you're doing. If you don't like it, stop it now, this very moment, transform your life from here on. And you can then put in the efforts, the discipline that is needed for the new journey.
Oh, with that, we got the new definition for cycle of existence. We should analyze it as a nest. So, if you want to get out of it, stop building that nest and create any new loops and have that control and get into that transformation. So, I guess that brings to end of our session today, Doctor. If there are any questions on that we received, we can take it up.
I think we're bang on time. It's 1 hour. Let's call
Chalo.
it.
Okay. So, thank you for joining and giving us your valuable time. I guess Dr. Lim is busy today, so that's why he couldn't join for this session today. See you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Thanks, Kevin, for streaming this session. Thanks, Amukta, for reading out, and thanks for your guidance. See you
Thank you, everyone.
tomorrow
Bye-bye.
at 8:30 a.m.
Yeah,
Bye. Take care.
bye-bye.